Hi YouTube, it's your girl Tina Fierce here, and I'm coming to you with a video on how to dye beauty supply store hair. And I'm dyeing my hair purple. So what you would need is a plastic bag to protect your floors or table or wherever you're working at. I used a rainbows bag and I cut it in half along the side so I can open it up, and then I also cut it at the bottom. And you need a bag that's pretty much like the length of your hair, or a little longer than the length of your hair, to make sure that you're not getting it all over the floor. So I'm using some pre-washed hair on top of that. This hair is already have been washed, and I use some bedhead shampoo to wash my the Dumb Blonde bedhead shampoo to wash my hair. And the color of this hair is a 27, so it's just some blonde hair. It don't have to necessarily be, I guess, the blondest of the blonde. I guess it just, as long as it's a lighter shade, is what's going to help take in the color more. So I have some pre-washed hair, and this is 14-inch hair. And the next thing that you're going to need is gloves, and you need the gloves to protect your hands from staining. And I got these from the #1 beauty supply store up the street, and these were $1.99. The next thing you're going to need is a dye brush to help you smooth on the dye. A dye bowl, and this was $1.99 at the beauty supply store up the street from my house as well. And I had this for the longest time. So you'll need a dye brush, dye bowl, hair, gloves. You need some sort of brush or comb to detangle your hair. Since I'm going to get dye on it, even though it doesn't have that much dye on it when you comb it, but I wouldn't use anything that you know, like I wouldn't use your favorite comb or anything like that. So I'm using this shampoo brush that I've had for the longest time. I'm using scissors because I'm going to either cut this bundle in half and dye it, you know, one section at a time, or I'm just going to just cut these bands off. It depends on how I feel, but I think I'm a cut this bundle in half. And then lastly, you need some dye, and I'm using this dye from Adore, and the color is Purple Rage, and this cost me $3.99 at the beauty supply store up the street from my house. Okay, so the first thing that you're going to need to do is cut off these gold ties that's holding the hair together. So I'm just going to cut those off. So now what I'm going to do is just separate the hair. So now instead of one full pack of hair, you separate it into two. And I'm just going to place this hair to the side until I'm ready to dye this portion. But for now, we're just working with a half a pack of hair. So now what you want to do is lay your hair completely stretched out across the plastic. Now that you got your gloves on, you're going to take your dye, and I'm going to use the half bottle first. And I'm going to open it, and I'm going to pour the dye into the bowl. And doing this makes it a little easier for you to get the dye onto the hair. Instead of pouring it on the brush and then pouring it, going back and forth, you can just do it like this, and it should make it much easier. So now that you have your dye in your bowl, what you're going to do is take your brush or comb or whatever you're using and brush the hair out. And doing this will allow for an easier application, because you don't want your hair to be all tangled up when you're trying to apply the dye to it. So just make sure you get it all detangled. Go down the whole strip of hair and brush it downwards to make sure everything is peachy keen. Okay, so now that you have the hair fully detangled and laid out, it's just simple. From here, you're just painting. So I'm just going to take my applicator. I'm going to dip it into this hair dye, and I'm going to bring it over to, can you see the end weft? I don't know. Well, I would do the middle one first so you guys can see. And I dye the whole thing. Like, I put it on the weft So not only am I putting it on the hair at the top, I put it on the entire weft so it can be one unison color. So I put it on the weft, get it real good in there, and then I bring it down. So now that you have the first half of the hair done, I didn't do the tips because again, I want to make the tips a little lighter than the rest of the hair. So now what you do is you take the hair and you peel it off of the plastic. Remember not to try to get it on your floors or anything. And you're going to take this hair and you're going to flip it over, because even though you got a good application on the front end, look at how it looks on the back. You see how it's still blonde pieces and stuff? Well, I don't know if y'all can see that. Let me flip it completely over. But when you flip it completely over, ooh, come on, hair. Okay, when you flip it completely over, you will see that it is still blonde pieces along the top parts. It's some blonde pieces on the inside. So flipping it over helps you to be able to get all of the hair completely coated in this purple color. So now that you have everything completely brushed out, you're going to take your dye again and you're going to cover this. Now with the back side of it, you don't necessarily have to cover every single last thing, even though that's what I do just to make 1000% certain that I have everything. But you don't necessarily have to be as precise as the other side, because it does pretty it leaks through pretty well. But just to make sure that you have everything coated, you can do as what I'm doing and heavily apply the color like how you did on the first side, or you can just see where you still have like blonde pieces and stuff like that, and you can just only apply the color to where you see that you have lighter pieces or blonder pieces. Alright, and I'm going to keep doing this until I'm done, and I will come back when I'm about to put the hair into the water. Okay, so now that you've dyed the hair, you're going to want to put your hair into a plastic bag, and I put both bundles into the plastic bag. And what you want to do is squeeze all of the air out of the bag, and then you're going to proceed to roll the bag up. So once you took all the air out, you roll the bag up, kind of squeeze it some more to make sure all the air is out of the bag. Okay, and then from there you have your boiling water. You're going to turn the water off. And this is a pot that we don't use anymore, so I wouldn't advise you to get a pot that you use, even though the dye doesn't come out of the bag. See, that was the purpose of squeezing all the air out and rolling it around, because the dye don't come out of the bag. So once you do that and you have it all in there, you're going to take your hair in the plastic bag and you're going to put this inside of the boiling hot water. And I will advise you to get some sort of tool or something so you're not touching it. And you want your hair to be completely submerged into the water. So what I do is kind of like press it down first. I press it down first to try to see if it's going to sink on its own. Then from there, I take a lid. I know this is so hood, but I take a lid and I kind of squish the bundle like in half, so it can be like a half a bundle, to get it completely under the lid. Only because I want the whole thing to be immersed and not half of it. So you want to try to get the hair completely submerged in the water, because air is still going to come up. You're going to take something else and just kind of set it on top so it can sink down. So see, your goal is to get your hair, and I just put another pot on top, but see, your goal is to get your hair completely submerged in this boiling hot water. Okay, so the next thing you're going to want to do is set your timer for 15 minutes. And then when the 15 minutes up, you can go ahead and rinse your hair out. So now that your hair has been sitting in the water for 15 minutes, you want to take it out, and then you have to wash and condition the hair. So take it out of the thing. And as you can see, it doesn't stain your pot or anything like that. That's why I said to take the water, take all the air out. So what you're going to do with this water is that you're going to put it back on the stove and put it on boil again, because you need to deep condition the hair. So you're going to take the water and again put it back on boil. So by the time you finish washing your hair, your water should be done. Okay, and a little bit of the water gets into the bag, which is a good thing because it really helps to penetrate and get this hair nice and colored. Okay, see, because not too much water gets into the bag, but just enough. So what you're going to do, I like to wash it by section, and you should have like steam actually coming from your hair. Okay, so let me move this out of the way for a second in my dish thing. Okay, so then what you're going to want to do is wash the hair out. So really rinse this hair out. Okay. So now that you got the hair completely rinsed out, you want to take your shampoo and wash the hair. And the shampoo that I am using is the Bedhead Dumb Blonde shampoo. And I'm just going to take it and pump about 2 or 3 squirts onto the hair and let it drip down. On my hand. Okay, let it drip down, and then from there, so it don't get tangled, I like to just work it in a downward motion until it starts to foam. So once you got it all foamy like this, because you're not really washing it, it's not dirty, you wash it the first time, so you're just gonna, it's just to get the excess dye out. So then from there, you're just gonna rinse it off. Now that you have your hair nicely shampooed out, what you're going to want to do is take your conditioner, and I like to put it in between my fingers like this to help me grip the hair better. So what you're going to want to do is take your conditioner, and I put it along the top too. So I put it along the top, and I also take it and smooth it down. And you want to be really generous with this conditioner because you want it to really soak through and penetrate the hair. So you're going to take some more. And I'm using the Dumb Blonde conditioner as well. So see, you really want to get a nice mask of conditioner on your hair. And you just want to blend this through the hair. And you can finger comb it, or you can use your what I like to do is take my shampoo brush and kind of hold it at the top and run it through the hair, and it should go pretty smooth. And then I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to run it through the hair again just to make sure that it's nice and straight and detangled. And then after you have your hair completely coated with the conditioner, you're going to want to put it back in the bag, and I rinse the dye out of the bag. So what you're going to want to do is condition it, place it back in the bag. You're going to do the same steps as we did when we dyed the hair. You're going to close the bag up, squeeze all the air out, and again you're going to put it back into the hot water for another 15 minutes. I like to do 15 minutes, but on this bottle it says to do it for 5 to 3 minutes. But I condition my hair for additional 15 minutes. And from there, when you take it out, you'll rinse it and you'll be done. This is how the hair look. I really wish this was picking up a little better because it's showing like it's blue on camera, but really it's like a dark sort of purple. But yeah, the color came out good, and it shows all the way to the wefts. And I sealed these wefts, so this is how the wefts look sealed. And I used a gloss finish so I can see what was going on when it was dry. So yeah, this is how the hair turned out. And it's the color all the way through to the bottom. And then the hair doesn't look dry or frizzy at all. It looks very nice. It has a nice natural sheen to the hair, and that's what I really like about this hair. So this is how the hair turned out. I hope this video was helpful to you guys. Please follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Please rate, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.